All right. Don't mind the crazy hair. So I think I'm gonna break these videos up. I'm still in the process of doing what the last video was. But anyways, let's get into this metal work. So I did this back panel here. There was a few tiny little spots. Coated that with that rust encapsulator. Can't do over, yet. There's some rust stuff under there. And these floor pans are just terrible. Let me flip you around and show you what we're doing here. So I just ground out all these rivets. I think this is the only floor pan that's gonna go halfway easy. And I'm still dreading it. Let's see if it, no, it still won't pop up. Oh, great. Let's get that up. Let's lay the other one in. See where it takes us. I'm really excited how the biggest killer, look at this. How am I gonna get that out? The other side's clear, but these things, I swear to God, they JB weld them in. Every vehicle I've taken seat belts out of. And it's a star bit that doesn't fit in my 1/2-inch impact. So I did that chassis saver all the way up the back. Took this out. This all came out super easy. I'm gonna get that all cleaned up and painted. Anyways, yeah, can't get these out. So you have to drill that out and tap it. I don't know. I mean, at least this upper one fit. I should put that back up in here. All right, let's pop this out. Alrighty. There she be. This is 100% a fluorescent light fixture. And that is not as bad as I expected. Clean this up, zip those rivets all out. So someone bonded it once, then tried fixing it. But that floor pan will patch that. Thank heavens. I don't know about this nonsense. That's probably where the seat mounts too, isn't it? Lovely. Oh man, are we gonna replace that piece? Do we have to replace that piece? I don't want to replace that piece. Let's start with this and see where it goes. Ugh. All right, so this one's gonna fit fine, just fine. There's some pinholes up there, but you know what? We're just gonna have to do some fiberglass work and cover that up, but it'll cover the sides. The real thing we're running into is what are we doing with this? Oh boy. I think this cross brace costs more than the whole dang set of floor pans for front and back. But we're rapidly approaching a point where we're gonna be doing part of it right and part of it wrong. And I have a feeling we should just replace that. But then we have to find the backs. Or fabricate the backs. Because that only goes up so far. I know we're gonna have to fabricate the front on that other side. I'm gonna have to go do some soul searching and some Google searching and see what I can come up with here. All right, cross brace is only 90 bucks. So I guess we're getting it, folks. And we're gonna have to learn how to take this cross brace out. This is all learning experience, so don't let anybody, especially your middle school guidance counselor, tell you can't do anything, because here I am doing stuff that I don't know what I'm doing. We learn, and it's best to learn on cheap stuff like this. So let's see what we can do about getting the seat out, getting that center brace out. See how fast I can get that center brace here. Actually, before we do any of this, I'm gonna go in and order that. And we're gonna have to, we're gonna have to do these rear pans. Great. Well, folks, here we are. This stuff is miserable to try and get out. I've got spot weld drill bit. It still drills all the way through, so you gotta patch a million holes. But I guess it is what it is. Moved out of that corner. What a nightmare. That was all filled with water. This tires can totally flatten off the bead. and the battery was dead. So it took me all of probably 2 hours to get this thing moved over. So we're still under the lights here, but we're gonna keep chugging away at this and see where it gets us. That'll fit in there fine, just fine. And the majority of that new cross brace will be in decent metal. Man, I hope that's the same shape. I mean, yeah, we're good. So, I'm gonna have to mark this out. These back ones are still up in the air, but these are gonna have to come out anyways. I'm gonna have to fab something. I'm thinking about hitting this with white spray paint, so I know where that line is. And I'm not gonna do what's called a, I think it's called a flash, but you tack it in and then you run your cutting wheel across there and then cut it so it ends flush. I don't give a rat's ass about that. So we're getting there. All right, that center rib's totally out. So now we can pull this side off and actually go to work zipping these front pans in and plugging those holes and seeing. Yeah, I don't know what's under this side yet. Probably nothing. Go from there. What I did was took some white spray paint here that was already shed and traced the outline of this. So I knew where I gotta cut it out. We're gonna zip that out a little bit lower than that line. So I have something to bite to. I'm not gonna do a flush cut. And then we'll zip this thing in. Disregard the bubble gum, but the first side is in. So the front there is gonna get a lot of seam seal where the other holes were. Let's move on to the other side. I tell you what, folks, I am impressed. I'm trying to get these seat belt bolts out. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 that are stuck. And I thought we were SOL. I tried welding a bolt. Wow. Tried welding a bolt onto that one over there, but flux core welders aren't great for that. I was trying to save these if I could. This one I can save. I need to drill out and all my drill bits are shot. But this one, just hit it with the old heat juice with some Aerochrome and the good old Burns-O-Matic. And look at that, she came out with a pipe wrench. I'll be dipped. This one here is good. That floor pan doesn't need to come up that high. So what we're doing with these floor pans, oh, here it is right here. See this line I got on it? So, these are too short. Chevelle floor pans don't fit. Nobody makes up Camino floor pans, yada, yada, yada. I said it earlier. So, that fits there. That needs to go back. I'm gonna cut it right here, send it back, and fix this in the middle. I was just gonna return these, and then I go, well, damn, they work for part of it. I mean, that's that much of a floor pan I don't have to fabricate from scratch, and it all lines up. So you know what? We're gonna do it, and we'll just fab right here. Better than fabbing the whole damn thing. So we're gonna cut this out. There's not much actually to cut out. Screw it on, weld it on, come back. And we have heat in the garage today. Look at that. Beautiful. 350,000 BTUs. So it's going to be in the single to negative digits the next few days. Let's stay warm. So here's what we're doing. That sucks, and I'm going to hate making that corner, but it's a lot better than doing the whole thing from scratch. All right, well, this side's in. It's as good as it's going to be for now. And I think I'll put that cross brace in next. Let's get that going. Then we'll do these stupid 2 little slits back here. So I'm replacing this battery tray Yeah, it probably would have been all right, but we put a new one in. Don't mind that. That's actually vents for the brakes. It cools these high performance brakes. So that's fine. But this is much better. So let's get this in and get this new battery in. Well, this one's out. Don't mind the seam sealer that I haven't talked about yet, or the Bondo. But she fell out. I came loaded for bear bar. Brand new set of Chimchonga drill bits. Forgot I had these, which you might need on the other side. And started drilling, and it literally wound itself out. Free tap that, and we're good to go. Move to the other side. All right, I was starting to make this a second ago when I realized that the coolant I put in the caddy is all leaking out through the floor, so that's good. Anyways, this is all back in. You can see where I had to zip and patch it. These back spots got a lot of Bondo, kitty hair. Whole thing's seam sealed, and we're gonna put these pieces back on. And the next step is putting the seat in to figure out where it needs to go. So I had to put some of that black paint on there. We got to set it in so we can figure out where the seat bolt holes go. And then from there, we can drill those holes and then put the insulation on. So don't waste your money on Dynamat. Stuff from Home Depot. Basically the same stuff. So let's try and wrestle that seat in here if I can. I'll get these wire looms on the side first because this one has to go over the hump. And let's see where the seat sits. I do have pictures from one of the forums I was on of people helping me kind of judge where these go. And we'll figure that out. All right, folks. We're ready to start putting this insulation and carpet down. Well, most of the way. So this bolt finally came out after legitimately probably 8 hours total of play to get that bolt out. We actually set this whole headliner on fire. Had to replace this wire. This speaker wire wasn't here, so I put that in. Ran it all the way back to the dash. But that's ready to go. Took the tint off the back. I was surprised how easy it came off, but we left this beautiful beach parking sticker. And the headliner's out because we burned it here. So luckily a new headliner wasn't that expensive, and it goes in a lot easier than I thought. So we'll touch this up a little bit. Obviously get the rest of this junk out and go. But anyways, let's get some of this insulation down. I'm gonna start on this side because I have that speaker wire in. We're only gonna bring it up so far. We don't wanna cover this because we're still gonna have to run a CB wire. The carpet will cover this, but not the insulation, but the insulation will cover down there. So let's get that in and see where it takes us. Look at that, we got it in. We only ran short by a hair. I'm not buying another $35 roll for that. I wasn't gonna wrap this, but I was able to do it pretty good. I mean, it looks like I wrapped it in aluminum foil. And cut out the bolt holes, so then we'll hit the bolt holes with a punch and a torch in the carpet. But I'm gonna flop the carpet in here, and we're going to let it sit for a while, warm up. It's probably not gonna fit quite right. We gotta make sure it fits at all. But usually, unless it's warm, it doesn't wanna flop out. So let's get that thrown in here and just get an idea what it looks like. All right, first off, I wanna see this is the piece of scrap we pulled out. I think that's it. I think it was royal blue. I mean, that's close. That's pretty damn close. You can see how faded it got. So I think we're all right. I mean, this whole thing's just shades of blue. 50 Shades of Blue. It's like that song by Eiffel 65. So, all right, let's throw her in. All right, we're flopped in here. So this one actually gives you a lot of wiggle room. Last one I did in my Eldorado didn't have this much extra fluff, which is good and bad. I guess it's better good than bad, but definitely leaves you with a lot of options. So we have to pick a starting point here. I think we're gonna do this driver's side. They give you an extra ring for the dimmer switch. I think we're gonna use that maybe as our starting point. Work this back, and then obviously you need the things that hold it down. I am gonna get new ones of these just purely because of this side. I should order those tonight. So we've got our bolt holes here, our bolt holes there, and then our bolt holes for the front of the seats. So we start this way, put that on, put this bolt hole on, probably this one. Just put bolts in there to hold it, and then we stretch it as we go. But probably need a little bit more heat in here for this. Get the torpedo heater blowing on this. And get her a little bit more flexible, although she's not really that bad right now. So stay tuned. I'll try and touch back in as we've got half of this on. I don't really want to do it on camera because I'll end up knocking the tripod over or something in my way. So see how she turns out. All right, one bolt in. I cut the hole for up there. It actually might line up. And I thought I cut it wrong. Yeah, I think I still cut it wrong. Luckily, there's a little bit of give with this. So I put this in because when I'm working in here, it was moving me. So what you do is you take your old Burns-O-Matic here and heat up one of these suckers, obviously not on cardboard. Then you stick it through. I'll flip the camera around and see if I can't do this one from the bottom up. We'll see how it works out. I'm trying to do this in a way that I can see what I'm doing in the camera. Like that. Who knows? This isn't a good cherry red, but hot enough to melt plastic. Where's that hole at, right? Now I can't find it, and it's getting cold. What in the insanity? Okay. There we go. Now that I have it at the bottom, I can do it again from the top, make it wider. So what I'm trying to do is get these bolts in just to hold it. Obviously, I'm going to put the seat belt through here. I guess I could probably do that with this one in particular. They'll hold this all in place. I got big washers for them too that I don't really need. Just for temporary. And then once it's in place, what we'll do is put these side rails down. I'm getting new side rails, but I don't have them yet, so I'm going to use the old ones for the time being. Put those side rails in, and then we can go from there. We're securing the rest of this down and putting the seat in. But this will hold the carpet where it needs to, kind of sort of in place, so we can do some of these other spots. So come back in a few minutes when some more of this is done. So here's our first roadblock. This is the only piece I wasn't going to paint because it's a hassle to get out. Because this hood lasts. But then I had to take it most of the way out anyways to get this carpet behind it. So the question is, do we just take it out and paint it? It's going to be a lot of extra doinking, but I think it'll look stupid if I don't. All right, well, that won't come all the way out. Well, and I'm kneeling on it. I'm going to screw it up. So I'm going to clean it and paint it right there. And then push this back through. We got this side pretty close. So obviously this lip comes over the plastic that goes here. Like I said, I'll replace these, but for the time being, this should work to hold this down and hold that down. So let's put these center bolts in, do the same trick with the torch. We got our switch in the floor. And then we got to figure out where we're bringing this up to. We're kind of set with the bottom of that box, but we'll figure that out. So something worth mentioning. It almost goes without saying, but I'm going to say it. When you're doing this, take small strips. You know, that's the first big one. But the rest I'm taking are like this. Do everything in small. Like back here, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm not going to just cut the whole thing off straight first. You can't add, and there's nothing more annoying than when you put this whole thing together and you'll have like a little sliver here that you can see. I did that on my Eldorado. So take your time, put it in. There's gonna be wrinkles. The seat's gonna cover it, don't worry about it. But we're getting pretty close here. Not as good as some of the form fit ones, but this is a rat rod, so it is what it is. Put this side panel on, put that bolt in for the seat belt, and then I got to make up my mind what I'm doing with the back end here. I'm just going to chip away at it a little bit, and then we should be good to put the seat belts and the seat in. Now, I think I mentioned in the earlier part of this video, it's been a couple days now, one of these I don't have the seat belt. I didn't realize that the guy that took them out, flopped them in here, also screwed those up. So now I got to find those. I think I have one. I think I have the driver's side, which is good. And then I'm just going to have to hunt one down. And the guy that had the other seat belts didn't have those, so keep going. So I looked at a lot of videos online. Couldn't find a lot of photos, but this essentially cuts off straight across there. I was going to try and move it around there. I've seen a few that had the back done, but I think those were professional restorations and factory. They were across here, which is what I've seen a lot of other places. So we're gonna cut that off. These pieces snap right on. They're looking good. Can't remember if this is in front or behind that one. We're probably gonna have to put the headliner on to do that, which I have here. So let's start with some of this and see where it takes us. We got that one in. We got that one in. We got that one in. We got this one in. And we got the smuggler's box in. And there were holes right there, so I put some of these finished screws to hold that in. I'm gonna need some more of them. But we're pretty darn close. I think I'm just gonna run finished screws around that. That'll hold it. Well, now that the carpet's in, I think we're gonna call that for this video. I wanna do another one of the rest of the interior. So I kind of was mixed matched. Oh, look, I already buggered these up. Did I hit it with the door? Probably, look at that. Oh well. So anyways, that's it for this one on the floor pans on the El Camino. I'm gonna follow it up with an interior video, and yeah, we'll go from there. So please, as always, like, comment, subscribe. Got to get enough followers on this thing to keep making it worth my time. Not that I wouldn't be doing this anyways, but anyways, we'll catch you on the next one here shortly, so stay tuned.